In this video, we're going to talk about the credit system, in particular, what a credit score is. First of all, your credit score is calculated by one of the three major credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, which use data to create a number that tries to predict your reliability to pay off a debt in the future. The average credit score in the US is around 682. A score anywhere from 620 to 680 is considered okay. Anything above 680 to 700 is good. You get above 700 and then it starts to look a little impressive. And if your credit score goes significantly below that, you might not just have problems securing a home mortgage or an auto loan, but even renting an apartment. So knowing what a credit score is and how your actions affect it is super important for life as an adult. Most credit card companies offer access to some sort of pseudo credit score in which they take that same information, but without you having to officially check the credit, which can actually lower, one of the things that can actually lower your credit score. You can get this report that is changing every single month, but it's not your official credit score. It's just a guide to help you understand your credit. So I'm logged into one of my credit card servicers, Capital One. It's one of the major ones in the US, and I'm going to walk you through using their service exactly how this works. So first of all, one of the things that they do really well here is actually break down how your credit score is calculated. So one of them is on-time payments. Are you paying your bills? Are you making sure you're paying things on time? The longer the track record for paying on time, the higher your credit score. The next is, how old is your credit? How long have you been someone who's had credit of some sort? How long have you had a mortgage? How long have you had a credit card? What's your oldest line of credit? And for me, you can see it's 13 years. This is one of those things that you cannot take immediate action to make it improve your credit score because it takes years. But the one thing you can do is by responsibly starting up your credit line earlier in your adult life rather than waiting until you need to get a home mortgage or an auto loan or something like that. If you know how to responsibly manage it now, you can actually increase your credit score over time so that when it comes time to do those things, your credit score is better and you'll get better terms on those agreements. The next thing is the amount of credit used. So when you open up a credit card, it has a credit limit. It's basically saying this is the maximum amount of money that that credit card company will loan you to purchase items. And so this credit used is basically taking the amount of credit you're currently using and dividing it by the total amount of credit you've been offered. So to make it the numbers really simple, if you had a credit card and its limit was just $100 and you spent $30, well, then you've used 30% of your credit. The lower that percentage of credit used, the higher your credit score, because it means you're being responsible with the accounts that you have. You're not just going out and charging to the max, but you're actually being responsible with your money. The next factor is recent inquiries. This means official checks on your credit score from a company that might be like an auto loan or a home mortgage or a credit card that they check before they open up your account. And if you do this many times, run your credit, multiple times in a short period of time, it actually lowers your credit score because it's a red flag to say that this person's not in a more stable financial footing because they keep asking for credit from different companies. The next is, how many new accounts do you have? How many accounts have you opened up recently? The more accounts you've opened up recently, the less of a track record you have with those accounts to say that you're a reliable borrower. These accounts can be something as simple as going to Home Depot and opening up an account where you purchase something and then pay it off in payments, where no interest is gained and you're just paying them off, but that's considered a new account added. And the last piece of the puzzle is your available credit. How much money could you right now, if you maxed out all your credit cards and took advantage of every sort of credit that's been offered you and you maxed it all out, how much could you actually spend? If this credit limit is really high and you're not accessing it, it demonstrates to future lenders that you can be responsible for the money that they give you because you're not maxing out every opportunity and you're actually being responsible with your money. The reason why I chose this account because they have this credit simulator that will show you what would happen if you take certain actions. So for example, my current calculated credit score, and this isn't the official one, this is again simulated, is 762. But if I were to pay off some of the existing debt, say I were to pay off roughly half of this existing debt, which the number that they have there isn't necessarily your exact debt because it gets reported to them at specific chunks of time, not every day. Okay, and so if I paid off half of what they think I owe and I click simulate, you can see that my credit score goes up 10 points from 762 to 772. But what's really interesting is that if I were to pay off almost all of it, like all but $83 and owe just $83, it would significantly go up. And you can see here 793. But if I pay that last $83 off, so I'm at 793 here, what happens if I pay just the last 83 and go to $0 owed? That jumped 10 points. Paying off half of it versus paying off the last $83 of it actually to my credit score was the same thing, because if I owe nothing, that shows to lenders that I am a reliable borrower. Well, what about the opposite? What if I make some major purchase and utilize a bunch of my credit? How is my credit score affected? So it went down from 762 down to 654 with just one purchase that used up a lot of my credit. So there are many other things in this credit simulator, but I wanted to show you just how much effect it has when you pay off debt or when you add to that debt, how it affects your credit score. And if you can keep the amount you owe low, you can actually put yourself in a better place when it comes time to finance either a home mortgage or an auto loan or whatever it is that you might need in order to be able to take the next step in your life. All right, the last piece of advice for you. When you go to college or as soon as you become an adult, credit card companies are going to try to do everything under the sun to get you in debt. They're going to give you all sorts of fancy offers. They're going to give you all sorts of perks. And in some ways, they know you kind of have to do something in order to start building your credit. So what you need is discipline. You need a plan. You need a plan for what you're going to accept, what you're going to do with it, and how you're going to make sure that you keep that debt low and you create a history in which you have zero debt and are able to pay things off. I hope that helps. Feel free to drop a question. Come to office hours 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Tuesday.